How do you find a balance between your personal experience and the demand of running a fashion brand?
The best thing to do is focus on the one that makes you happy.
What advice would you give to someone who wants to turn a personal struggle into a successful business?
Be real. Be real. This didn't start like intentionally. It's unbelievable how the first 1,000 pieces that I just made sold out. There was nothing left, and
Wow.
that's why I called it my signature.
What is the most unexpected challenge you faced when starting Runway Dubai?
I found this wonderful event company, supposedly,
Yeah.
and they told me, oh, we can do this, we can do that, just pay us this. And I did. I trusted them, and they ended up being terrible fraud.
Is there a piece of fashion advice that you think everyone should hear it?
I used to say, do not take no for an answer in the industry, because if you do, you will never get anywhere.
What advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs looking to make their mark in the fashion industry?
I'd say just stay true to yourself. Just keep doing, don't copy. You can be inspired by someone, but don't copy.
Welcome to the Monday Bazaar podcast, where we dive into the inspiring journey of entrepreneurs and innovators shaping the world around us. I'm your host, Alisha Bukhari, and today I have the pleasure of speaking with incredible Modupe. Founder of Runway Dubai, as a talented fashion designer, Modupe has built a brand that embodies creativity, resilience, and style. Having faced her own battle with the cancer, her journey is a testament to the power of determination and passion in the face of adversity. Join us as we explore her entrepreneurial journey, the challenges she's overcome, and the insights she's gained along the way. Get ready for a conversation that's sure to inspire and empower. Thank you so much, Madhupe, for joining us today, and it's really pleasure and after a long time to see you. I know your health conditions are not that well, but again, thank you.
Thank you, Ali, for having me. Appreciate it.
Can you share your journey into the fashion industry? What inspired you to start Runway Dubai?
Sure. So I moved to Dubai in 2010, and when I came to Dubai, the glitz and the glam was
Yeah.
so overwhelming. But I'm a fashion designer first,
Yeah.
so I started finding ways of how to show my collection in Dubai.
Yeah.
Because I've been traveling around the world, so I had so many new ideas that I wanted to show. So, but it was so difficult because of the cost of showing your collection as an emerging talent.
Yeah.
The costs were just unbearable, unbelievable, just out of this world. I knew there was no chance, no way for me to be able to show the world my collection as long as I'm here in Dubai.
Yeah.
So, but luckily I had met someone because I started going to networking
Yeah.
events, and I met a girl that literally changed my life.
Amazing.
She was so amazed at what I did, and I showed her my collection. And she was blown away, and she told me, I have a sponsor for you. And true to her word, she did have a sponsor that actually just gave me a whole new new meaning to
Yeah.
what my dreams were at that time.
So you showed your first collection, or you started the event?
Absolutely. So no, it was first of all, like I told you, I started as a designer.
Yeah.
So he gave me the check to fulfill my dreams, to do a fashion show at the Dubai Mall.
I remember that show. I
Yeah.
was there.
Yes.
Yeah, I
So
remember.
it was a dream come true.
Yeah, that's amazing. And how the idea came in your mind about the Runway Dubai, as it's a known, very well known event in this region and internationally as well.
Yeah.
So when it was started and how?
I noticed when I was planning my show that there was truly a gap in the industry for emerging talents.
Mm.
There were so many designers here that weren't able, that didn't have a voice.
Mm.
They weren't able to show their collections. It's too
Yeah.
expensive. And so the first show with the sponsor, I had asked him if I could invite some other emerging talents, and he said,
Mm.
why not? So I had invited three other designers. It was a magical show, and a lot of people started contacting me. How can I get an opportunity? So I felt like I was the voice for
Mm.
emerging talents in Dubai.
So, what was the challenges you have faced in the beginning?
A lot of companies will approach you and tell you they can do stuff for you, and you believe them. It is challenging because um, you trust the fact that
Yeah.
this is what they say they can do, and you're new in the industry in Dubai, and you just throw your caution to the wind. You do not care.
Yeah.
You give them all your all in all, and they disappoint you.
Mm.
From sponsors, sponsorships to a lot of, of setbacks, especially financially. After the first sponsorship, I decided that I wanted to start a platform that will help other emerging talents, and that's when.
As someone who has battled cancer, how has that experience shaped your approach to business and design?
I would say it has made me stronger as an individual. And having said that, no one wants to go through the C word. It's the toughest thing ever.
Yeah.
And then the treatment, and it's tough. Um, but I feel like this has shaped me into a more mature person, business wise. Um, I want to say a little story that
Yeah, sure.
touches me all the time. There's a little girl that drew me. She said, I want to draw Miss Modupe. And she gave the picture to her mom to send it to me. And when I saw the picture, I just started crying because she drew me with this.
Yeah.
I only started wearing this when I lost my hair during chemo. So this is my new
That's great.
identity,
Yes.
and it's really touching that, you could impact people with just the littlest things that you don't even know or realize.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's really, really. It's some. I know it's difficult as well to but I think as you said that it. I know you're a strong woman, but it makes you more stronger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
How do you find balance between your personal experience and the demand of running a fashion brand?
the best thing to do is focus on the one that makes you happy. This is an experience since after cancer,
Yeah.
the diagnosis. I was working, I was trying to balance my family
Yeah.
and my personal fashion designing and my event as
Yeah.
well. So at the end of the day, I'm focusing on Runway Dubai. Doesn't mean that I stopped doing what I love to do, but Runway Dubai to me it's just so fulfilling to see others, thrive
Yeah.
from what I do from this platform that I created. So yeah, it makes me happy. I'm happier than even before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Can you share a powerful moment in your journey that changed everything for you, either personally or professionally?
I just did with the little girl, but I
Yeah.
can share another one.
Yeah, sure. Would love to hear that.
Yeah. I mean, with every, I told the story about my journey
Yeah.
on social media, and I would say the impact that it has created is just beyond. It's just beyond me because
Yeah.
a lot of people contact me and tell me, "Oh, please don't tell anyone. This is what I'm going through," or "How can I do this?" or "How can, come and talk at my
Yeah.
event and come and share your story." So it's a lot, and I feel blessed. Well, what went down and
Yeah.
what's going on right now and what I see for the future.
What advice would you give to someone who wants to turn a personal struggle into a successful business?
Be real. Be real. This didn't start like intentionally, and it's unbelievable how the first uh, 1,000 pieces that I just made, sold out. There was nothing left, and
Wow.
that's why I called it my signature. The first time I called it headpiece. It means the piece that you get from whatever thoughts that you're
Yeah.
having. And I liked the name, it was catchy. But when that little girl drew me and she drew me with this, I changed the name to my signature. And
That's
yes,
amazing.
thank you.
What role does creativity play in your life, and how do you harness it in your work?
I was born with creativity.
Yeah.
And yes, absolutely. And I remember when I was a little girl, my auntie was so upset with me. Every time she would see me destroy something and reconstruct it, but she would tell me, "You're so destructive." But now, as I'm a grown woman, I look back and I go, I was born with it.
Yeah.
I loved to recreate from something. And that's what's happening now with the fame of Runway Dubai and sustainability.
Yeah.
I come up with ideas that just pop out of my head. And I say to my students, I say, why don't you do this? Why don't you do? I never have the same idea. It's one idea after the other.
Other.
Yeah, so that's.
So you're born creative.
I was born creative.
What is the most unexpected challenge you faced when starting Runway Dubai, and how did it change your perspective on entrepreneurship?
The most unexpected challenge, everyone knows. The event company that I contracted to do our first event
Yeah.
was not an event company. They disappointed me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one story about finding people online. Be careful. And I found this wonderful event company, supposedly.
Yeah.
And they told me, "Oh, we can do this, we can do that. Just pay us this, do." And I did. I trusted them, and they ended up being a terrible fraud. And yeah, and from that, I learned a big lesson. I learned to have a plan A, B, C for stuff, especially in Dubai. And I went back to an event school in London after that happened to me. And I went back to learn and came back stronger. And now everyone calls me to organize their events. So
you learned by yourself.
I had to learn the hard way, but that was a learning experience.
Yeah, that's very expensive.
That was, but it was worth it at the end of the day.
How did you keep your creativity flowing, especially during tough time? Any rituals or routines that you swear by?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I do not joke with music. I listen to music, I meditate, and that's how thoughts and happy thoughts and creativity just flows because I'm not dwelling down deep in my sorrows or anything. I'm just looking to, create and help another person change the world.
What is the craziest fashion trend you have ever followed or created, and what inspired it?
I'm already laughing because trends are not my thing, but I must admit, I have done, the platform shoes.
Yeah.
I've done the platform shoes. They were not for me. I fell down a couple times, but they looked really cool.
Yeah.
Something I said I would never do, the ripped jeans, not for me. And I mean, trends are good for the young at heart.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just have to have a mind of your own, especially in this modern day and time where there's so many fast fashion shops all over the place, and
Yeah.
you just don't want to
Everything
be
is very accessible to
exactly.
everyone.
So you have to be
But
careful.
you mentioned the young heart. You are a young heart. You are a creative person.
Yeah,
You are a
yeah,
designer. So
yeah.
why you said that?
No, I mean, it's good to always have your own trend,
Hmm.
start your own trend, and
Yeah.
people will follow.
Yeah,
That's the way I look at it, you know.
I agreed. I
Yeah.
agreed. How do you stay ahead of trends in the fashion industry, and what strategies do you employ to keep your brand relevant?
We are really influenced by red carpet awards, um, movies.
Hmm.
So we do that because we have students that come to us every year, and we want to keep um, challenging them to,
Yeah.
look at what's going on. Don't close your eyes to stuff. But we're standing by the sustainability um, industry where, you can go ahead and be influenced and motivate yourselves as well, but be careful with, the downside of the fashion industry.
Hmm.
You want to be in the um, circle of responsible fashion students
Hmm.
and responsible fashion designers.
Can you share a story of a time when you took a significant risk in your business? What was the outcome?
I told you that I went to the UK. My kids are here. I went to the UK back to study.
Yeah.
Um,
To learn the event
yeah,
organizations.
properly, and that wasn't my line. I studied fashion and design, and so that was to me was a risk. Um, there's so there's so many others that
Hmm.
um,
Anyone which you seems in your point of view, the
I mean,
funny at the same
and
time.
and no, this wasn't funny. It was emotional because in 2022, when I was diagnosed with breast cancer,
Yeah.
I was undergoing chemo, and I decided to do a show that same year.
Really?
And I'm like, what was I thinking? The day of the show, I couldn't even get up from my bed. I was
Wow. But I think
just
this is your passion involved in it, and it's you are that emotionally attached with the runway and the
yeah,
fashion industry, and so I
yeah,
think that give you that strength to.
absolutely, absolutely.
Is there a piece of fashion advice or a quote that you swear but that you think everyone should hear it?
I used to say, do not take no for an answer in the industry because if you do, we would never get anywhere.
Hmm.
And I, I used to swear by that, and I used to tell my students, do not take no for an answer. I remember a lady, they sponsored me eventually,
Mhm.
but I had approached them to sponsor. And she said, oh, I'll get back to you. I'll get back to you. You know what I did? I programmed calling her 8:30 every Thursday morning.
That's interesting.
I thought she would be frustrated. But guess what? I frustrated her to say yes.
Yeah.
And till date, they were my biggest.
What advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs looking to make their mark in the fashion industry?
I would say just stay true to yourself.
Hmm.
You know, just keep doing, don't copy. You can be inspired by someone, but don't copy. You just bury yourself under their shadow.
Hmm.
So it's better to just stay true to yourself. Let people see that your personality shine through whatever you're doing.
Thank you for joining us on the episode of Monday Bazaar podcast. It's been a true privilege to hear Modupe's inspiring story and gain insights into our journey as a fashion entrepreneur. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to subscribe, rate, and review us on your favorite podcast platform. Your support help us reach more listeners and share powerful stories like Modupe's. Be sure to follow us on the social media for updates and upcoming episodes. Remember, every challenge is an opportunity to disguise. So keep pushing forward until next time. Stay inspired and keep creating.